So it is October 11th. We are getting ready to put some 2x4s. I guess show them. 2x4s are going to be supports. They're going to go from the floor to the back. It's not an axle that goes between the wheels. It's more of a beam with the suspension hung off of it. So the 2x4s are going to go across. This one's going at an angle, and it's going to be cut off where that black mark is over there. The next one is going to go across just on the inside of the hump, or the center well there, and then same thing on the other side. So I've just soaked down the bolts that hold the emergency brake cables, which you can see the emergency brake cable over there. Zoom in a little bit. There you can see it. So the emergency brake cables are just on the other side of this little the seat support, and they're kind of in the way. So instead of moving them to a place that's probably going to be wrong and then moving them again once the 2x4s are in, I'll just loosen them off and get them out of the way. We'll drill through, use the jigsaw to cut out these rectangular holes, and then once the 2x4s are in and they're the support, whatever I come up with for supports, is on the back beam, we'll get a plywood structure over top of the 2x4s, and then start making a box for the batteries. I expect that we're going to have to end up cutting this off and come down to the you can't see it. I expect that this edge is going to be cut, and then we're going to be going down to about here. I'm not willing to take that off right now. That's going to stay there while we're still working in wood. After I'm fairly certain that it'll take the weight and I'm happy with the geometry, because the wood's a whole lot easier to work with than aluminum. Once I'm happy with it, the 2x4s are going to be replaced with 4-inch square tube, 1/8-inch wall, 6061 aluminum, which is what we're using in the Wiki Speed car, and I happen to have some. So that's what there's going to be 4 going across instead of the 2x4s, and then on top of it, it's going to be either a 1/4-inch or 3/16 metal plate to get everything tied together and rigid. And then we're going to have vertical posts coming up to bolt down the battery box and secure it to basically secure it so it doesn't move in the case of a collision. Since it's right behind me, I'm going to go overboard a little bit. 4-inch square tube is probably serious overkill, but that's okay. The first shot and the second shot of penetrating oil don't actually seem to be the ones that do anything. By about the third soaking, things seem to actually start moving. So what worked, drilling through and joining it up with the jigsaw worked from underneath, was fine. It was a good idea to go from the back and make sure that the emergency brake cables were out of the way. What didn't work so well is I need to disconnect a couple more bolts, and the jigsaw, just the bulk of it, that means that you can't get into some places that you want to get into. So a smaller version, almost like a mini sawzall, where it's kind of vertical and the blade just travels up and down, kind of in line with what you're holding, would probably be much better. And I think that's kind of what a nibbler looks like, but having trouble finding one that looks like it's actually going to stand up.